My tiny apartment had always felt perfect for one person. One couch. One bed. One quiet life. But that night, everything changed. Because the moment she stepped inside, dripping from the rain, she looked around my cramped living room, smiled nervously, and said something that made my heart stop. "We're both staying here with you tonight." Both? I looked behind her. And that's when I saw the second girl standing in the hallway. And suddenly, my apartment felt very, very small. It was nearly midnight when the knock came. At first, I ignored it. Nobody visits at that hour unless it's bad news. But the knocking came again. Louder this time. Reluctantly, I opened the door. Standing there was Emma, the girl from the apartment across the hall. We had exchanged polite smiles in the elevator before, but we had never actually talked. Her hair was soaked from the rain. Her breathing was uneven. And behind her stood another woman I had never seen before. Emma looked embarrassed. "I'm really sorry to bother you," she said quietly. "But our apartment just flooded." I blinked. "Flooded?" She nodded. Pipe burst in the bathroom. Water everywhere. The landlord said it won't be fixed until morning. Then she glanced back at the other girl. "This is my sister, Lily." Lily gave a small wave. The hallway behind them smelled like wet carpet and chaos. Emma hesitated before saying the words that would turn my night upside down. "Can we stay here tonight?" Before I could even process the idea, she added, "We're both staying here with you." My apartment was barely big enough for me. One bedroom. Tiny kitchen. Couch that squeaked whenever someone moved. But looking at them standing there in the rain, I couldn't say no. Sure," I said awkwardly. "Come in." The moment they stepped inside, the space felt different. Smaller. Warmer. Alive. Emma walked around, examining the place. "You live alone?" she asked. "Yeah." She smiled. "That explains why it's so quiet." Lily laughed softly and sat on the couch. "Don't worry," she said. "We'll try not to take up too much space." But something about the way Emma looked at me made me feel like this night was going to be anything but quiet. And I had no idea how right I was. By 1 a.m., the rain outside had turned into a storm. Thunder rolled across the sky. Inside my apartment, the three of us sat around my small table eating instant noodles like it was a midnight survival party. Emma seemed more relaxed now. She laughed easily, teasing Lily, asking questions about my work, my life. "Why do you live alone?" she asked. "Peace and quiet," I joked. Lily smirked. "Well, that's officially over." Emma nudged her. But then something changed. The power suddenly went out. The room went dark. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then Lily laughed nervously. "Okay, that's slightly terrifying." I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. The soft glow lit Emma's face. She looked at me in a way I hadn't noticed before. Not like a neighbor. Not like a stranger. Something deeper. "Thank you for letting us stay," she said quietly. "You really saved us tonight." "It was nothing," I replied. But then Lily stood up suddenly. "Well," she said, stretching, "I'm taking the couch before someone steals it." She grabbed a pillow and collapsed dramatically. Emma rolled her eyes. "That means..." She pointed toward the bedroom. "You and I have to share the bed." My brain froze. "Wait, what?" She shrugged casually like it was the most normal thing in the world. "Unless you want the floor." A few minutes later, we were both lying on opposite sides of my bed, staring at the ceiling while thunder shook the windows. Neither of us slept. After a long silence, Emma spoke softly. "You know what's funny?" "What?" "This morning, you were just the quiet neighbor who never talked to anyone." She turned her head toward me. "And now I'm sleeping in your bed." I laughed quietly. Life's weird like that. Another pause. Then she said something unexpected. "Maybe this flood happened for a reason." I turned to look at her. "What reason?" She smiled. "So we would finally meet." Outside, the storm slowly faded. But inside that tiny apartment, something much bigger had just begun. Sometimes life changes in the smallest places. A knock on the door. A rainy night. And two unexpected guests who suddenly say, "We're staying here with you." And just like that, your quiet life is never the same again.